Hey, it's Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. So we have big news today. I have been named by Inman News, commonly known as Inman.com, as the person of the year. The person of the year. Right here. Yep. I know. I was a little surprised. I didn't see it coming. But now that I reflect upon it, it's absolutely positively justified, right? Absolutely. I am the person of the year over at Inman News. Let's bring up this story the right way, Jack. Here, let's see if we can. There we go. That's better. Meet Inman's 2023 Person of the Year, the small broker owner. It's me. I am the person of the year. Small brokers may not get as much attention as the big guys. Oh, thank you, Brad. Yeah, here I am, Lord. Here I am, Brad, right here. But they make up the majority of real estate industry firms and manage to win David versus Goliath struggles every day. Right. I am the person of the year. Thank you so much, Brad. Very, very happy about this. All joking aside, it is nice to see that Inman, which usually sucks up, I would have to say, a little bit to the big companies, recognizing that there are little guys out there like us. And it does have a nice article here about featuring a couple of different independent people that went out and started their own brokerages, which was my dream when I got into this business. I think it will be this springtime. I think it will be 10 years since I quit the agency I worked for. No harm in that. I liked working there, but I knew it was time to go out and started my own agency. I think this spring will be 10 years, I think, that I've been working completely and independently for myself. Started the agency, started the real estate school, the whole thing. I'm pretty sure it's 10 years. So you don't need to work on Maggie's farm no more. Another Bob Dylan reference. And here's a nice story about Amber Montino, I hope that's how she says it, didn't believe her. She had worked in real estate since 2002 and doing some stints at bigger name brokerages, including EXP, Keller Williams. But in 2019, she finally decided to branch out on her own and got her broker's license. She rented an office space. Then she received a visit at her new office from the managing broker of the company she was leaving. He told me I would not make it a year at a boutique brokerage. He told me I would not make it a year as a boutique brokerage, Montanino recently told Inman, that I would be swallowed up. The broker was apparently trying to intimidate me into backing off, and he made an offer that would have been allowed her to start her own brand within the confines of the bigger company. Oh, never do that. Montanino would not be deterred. In fact, she said that the comments only steeled her resolve to make her own company work, even in a market dominated by mega firms. Way to go, Amber. Way to go, Amber. So if you have the dream of starting in this business and going on your own and creating your own independent brokerage, you can do that. You can do that. I'm no rocket scientist, and I did it. And you can do it too, even if you're already working for, and maybe you're experienced. Maybe you've been in this business 10, 20 years or something. Oh, why are you still working at an agency? If you're doing volume or you think you can do, really, why aren't you getting your broker's license? Look, by the way, if you're in Massachusetts, real estate school is on sale this week. Hint, hint, onlinerealestateacademy.com. But shameless self-promotion. But really, why aren't you getting your license? Hello, Shannon. Thank you so much for saying that. There we go. Almost 10 years. Thank you, Shannon. Sharon, excuse me, Sharon, my mistake. Thank you, Sharon. But it is great to be the person of the year. Person of the year over at Inman. I think it's just a matter of time before they start selling that. But my picture is on Time Magazine, and they start auctioning these things off for with my photo, of course, not Taylor's photo, but my photo for $50. I think $50 for my picture on Time Magazine would be cheap. I think mine's going to go for more than Taylor's. I mean, she's only sings songs, right? I think my Time Magazine cover is going to go for $500 because I am the person of the year. All right, so it has not been a good year, 2023 at least, for the National Association of Realtors. And let's bring up the article from yesterday at Real Estate News. NAR membership down 26,000 members in 2023. Membership fell by more than 17,000 from November and December. So, ouch. And the association posted its first annual decline in more than a decade. National Association, I think they have a seasonal thing where it does dip in the end of the year. But obviously, if you're losing members year over year, that's not a good thing. Saw a significant decrease in membership between November and December and reported its first year-over-year decline since 2012. NAR ended with 1.554604 members, according to data from the trade organization. That's down $17,000 and change from November and 26,000 and change from a year ago. Washington State posted the biggest percentage decline year over year, with membership falling almost 10%. Wow, that is a lot. They lost almost 2,200 members. The Northwest MLS system. So you might remember that the Northwest MLS system is also the system that's kind of the guinea pig out in front of getting rid of the mandatory cooperation rule. Remember that? They were kind of like the leaders in that, followed by the Mid-Atlantic one. What's that? Bright MLS in the Mid-Atlantic. They were kind of the leaders in there of changing that. Not that it made any difference, really, effectively in the marketplace. And it is also an MLS which is broker-owned. It's not affiliated with NAR. That's why they were able to change the rules before NAR did. It's also home of Redfin, which announced in October that it was leaving NAR. So there could be some, home office people that decided to stop paying the dues. Other areas with significant drops are Washington, D.C., Colorado, and Maryland. Florida up slightly. Texas up slightly. The only large population states that posted membership increases. Well, of course, because Florida is gaining population compared to the rest of the state. Like, Massachusetts is losing residents to states like Florida, Tennessee, Texas. And of course, Texas is gaining from a lot of other states as well. So it's not surprising that those states are up. California's membership was down 4.3%, representing about 9,000 members. So this is also indicative of the fact that we are in a transaction recession, where there's just not a lot of transactions right now, right? And when there's not a lot of transactions, a lot of people that are in it for the, for the easy buck, they get out of the business, right? And when those dues come along, when that $700 dues bill comes along, when do they start emailing that? I haven't paid it for years, since I'm not a realtor and haven't been for 4 or 5 years or something like that. What do they send that out in November or some Thanksgiving time or something? When that $700 hits the inbox and you're like, whoo, and you haven't made any money all year, then those people that are just in it for the easy buck, they're out, right? They're out. And that's okay, because if you're still in, now is the time to build your brand. Markets are cyclical. It will come back. Don't panic. For those of you who are panic, great. That's going to be market capitulation, and a lot of you will quit. But for those of you who don't quit, if you long enough window here, a horizon, I should say, things will come back. The market will come back. Do the work now to build your brand. And congratulations again to all of you who decided to go out independently as your own broker owner at a small agency like mine, or in the thousands of us who have done that across the country. Now's the time to build your brand, to stick to it, to get the nose on the grindstone, to stick to it and continue to build that brand. And then if you do that and still make some money, still putting up some transactions this year, when the market turns around, and nobody really knows, but we will at some point, we're going to go from what is now definitely a low transaction environment. At some point, we're going to move back up to a normal transaction environment. And every yin has a yang. At some point, we'll have a high transaction environment. But right now, we're basically in a transaction recession. Stick with it. Falling mortgage rates haven't sparked a home buyer stampede. Recent decline in rates is cause for optimism, but requests for purchase loans are down 12% from a year ago, according to Mortgage Bankers Association. That's interesting. So this dip to lower rates hasn't really worked. You know, the other day, I did the video about me out front of Starbucks. Did you watch that? That was a lot of fun. And I had happened to come across a video that I made when I released the forms. So that was 4 years ago. I didn't know it was so long ago, but 4 years ago, we had this project, and we released our own proprietary forms. So I own my own forms at my agency. That's why we're not realtors. And of course, here in Massachusetts, I'm a member of MLS PIN, which is broker owned. So we don't have to have a realtor membership to get MLS access like a lot of you folks do. Of course, that's the tying of two things together, which is almost always an antitrust violation. But the realtors have been successful in a lot of places in defending that, except not in California or Florida. But I always viewed the realtors as being a monopoly in two ways. One, against consumers, and two, against us, the licensees, right? And so when I released my forms project 4 years ago, almost to the day, I released this video at that time. You might remember the iconic fee here from the famous Apple ad. Let's play a quick clip.
Now, there's two things we absolutely positively know about any monopoly. One, you get an inferior product. And two, you overpay for it. And as a small broker in a very big industry, I always thought that the Realtor Association really wasn't looking out for me, but was really looking out for the big players in our industry.
And they really have no feeling in their hearts, usually, about wanting to really help the customers.
And so I'm going to think differently about this, and I'm going to do what I can't.
We shall prevail.
All right, you might remember the ad. Yes, I love that ad. And so I kind of edited it up there and put together that video when I launched the Forms Project, because I really believe that effectively the Realtor Association has forgotten you. And they're self-perpetuating, and they don't really care about the rank and file agents, just like Steve Jobs said in that video. And of course, that's the famous, I believe, 1984 Apple TV ad that launched Apple. It was a famous ad, and I kind of doctored it up to apply to the Realtor Association, which you see their logo at the very end, right, in the superimposed upon the guy's face. So I'm really proud to kind of be part of this movement to something that's going to be better for our business. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's going to be something that's better. You know, I've seen a lot of these videos. Have you seen a lot of these videos on YouTube? that are saying, stop listening to all these financial gurus, whether it's Graham Stephan or Meet Kevin or, all of them. And I watched a fair amount of all that, not too much, but enough. And I think now that I've been doing this YouTube thing and a little bit more seriousness here, I definitely think there are some people that fall into that type of category when it comes to real estate YouTubers. And I didn't really want to talk about this again, but I feel that I have to, because Ricky Carruth has now explained why he deleted all the videos and never did the interview with attorney Michael Ketchmark. And it's an embarrassingly stupid explanation. The simple fact of the matter is, he should have known this. It should have been like the first thing he thought about before he launched this whole concept. But Ricky Carruth is with EXP, and Michael Ketchmark is suing EXP. So why would you do a YouTube interview with the attorney who is literally suing you? That is stupid. And it should have been the first thing that Ricky Carruth had thought about before he did all these videos and invited Michael Ketchmark, before he even took the guy's call. Right? If you get the phone call from the attorney that's suing you, what is the first thing you say? Mr. Ketchmark, so nice of you to call, but I can't speak with you. You need to call my attorney. But no, Ricky Carruth is so dumb that he went and he did a bunch of series of interviews, and he offered Ketchmark to be on his show. And finally, we get an explanation about why that is. So let's bring it up here. In a 25-minute interview, it takes him until minute 21 or so to finally give the answer. So let's have Ricky explain it.
On and interviewing him, this is the guy. But the reason why I did not do this is because after that, and we scheduled it and everything else, man, I started to digest the enormity of the situation. I started to put all this together, and it was really putting two and two together. It wasn't even like a complicated equation, right? It's like, okay, I'm with EXP. EXP's in the new lawsuit that he filed for $200 billion, could be trebled up to $600 billion. Here I am talking to the plaintiff's lawyer and actually going to do a live recorded interview with him on YouTube.
How stupid could I be? Right? How stupid could I be? Right? He's just like now figuring it out. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Man, but this is the guy that literally, I think he says he has 200 people paying him $99 a month for his advice. And this is how bright he is. So, if it's working for you, then great. But I know it's working for Ricky, because 200 times 100, that's like, I think, something like 20 grand a month. But it's not about the money. I'm sure Ricky he actually starts off the video saying that he's a victim because he's been giving away so much of his good advice. And now he charges for it. $100 a month, I think. I think he said he has like 200 people paying him. So, yeah, good for him. More the power. If it's working for those people, great. Free market, all that good stuff. But understand that Ricky might not be as smart as you think he is. All right, mortgage rates. 6.7 according to Mortgage News Daily. 6.7. They were a little bit higher the other day. The 10-year Treasury at the moment is 3.986. That's up on the day. If we look at the let's just go to the 5-day chart here. That is up on the day, and the reason why that is up on the day is because the ADP number came in a little hot. I mean, now we're approaching back to 4. We're approaching back to 4. The ADP number came in a little bit hot, and of course, in the Wall Street insanity, good news is bad news. Bad news is good news. That means the economy might be too hot. Now, the ADP number has also routinely been disconnected from the non-farm payroll number So, who knows what the non-farm payroll number will come out at, but it is the most, important figure usually on a monthly basis, the non-farm payroll number. But your treasury yields are approaching 4% after strong data. So once again, good news is bad news. Bad news is good news. The spread has shrunk a little bit. So it was, I think, up at one point, the spread between the 10-year and the 30-year mortgage was somewhere like 310 points, but I think it's now down to 270 or 275 or something like that. So the spread has shrunk a little bit. But again, I think mortgage rates eventually are going to go back up. Eventually. That's just my hunch on it. Well, it's been great being with you today. We have a couple of comments here. Thank you so much for your comments. Life of Kali, thanks for the advice. You are welcome. Lots of financial gurus in the real estate. Yeah, in real estate investing. Take all of that with a grain of salt for sure. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your lawyer, because I'm neither of those actually in real life. I'm just a lowly real estate broker who also happens to be the person of the year. So, hey, I'm just the person of the year, but that doesn't make me your lawyer, because I'm not a lawyer or your financial advisor. So I'm just the person of the year. That's all I am. So hopefully next week, Time Magazine covers will be going out with my face on them. Face for radio, as I like to say. Hey, I'm Jack Gately for Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy, where the sale continues. Go make some money. Have a great day. Bye-bye.